Welcome to the UFO Enigma, your portal into the mysterious world of UFOs, aliens, and the unexplained. Here, we delve into the unknown, exploring chilling encounters, mind-bending theories, and captivating stories that challenge everything we know about the universe. Whether you're fascinated by alien warriors, UFOs, or mind-blowing extraterrestrial encounters, we bring you the stories that will leave you questioning what's out there. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and join the conversation. The universe is vast, and the mystery is just beginning. Exploration of Nexus 9. Planet Nexus 9, where the vastness of space seems to be soaked in an eerie stillness, welcoming first-time visitors. Two suns shine, but not with their warm light, but with a harsh radiance, like sharp knives cutting through space, painting the sky with a brilliant orange hue. The entire planet is covered by a pale yellowish haze, hot and suffocating, seemingly never-ending. Captain Alex RHS, clad in heavy battle armor made of durable titanium alloy, stands still, his eyes piercing through the mask, surveying the vastness. The weight of the armor clings tightly to his body, as if it's a part of him, but the heaviness cannot conceal the exhaustion that is evident on his face. It feels like standing in a foreign world where everything seems out of place. The ground beneath his feet is lifeless, only stretches of red-orange mountains in the distance, looming like monsters lying dormant in the dark, waiting for any invader to step onto their territory. The peaks of the mountains, sharp and pointed like arrows, reflect the sunlight as a warning there is no room for weakness here. Perimeter secure, a voice crackles through the comms, that of Lieutenant Donovan. Her voice fills the silence, but still, the tension is clear in every word. No signs of hostiles within 2 clicks. Alex nods slightly and responds through his comm device, "Copy that. Maintain vigilance." The Aurelians are known for their stealth capabilities. Though the atmosphere seems quiet, Alex knows it is only temporary. His team had been sent to Nexus 9 following intel about the Aurelian expansion. These creatures are not only strong but possess the ability to cloak themselves, making them invisible in the dense forests or rocky deserts. His eyes dart quickly across the HUD, tracking even the smallest movement within his range. His breath synchronizes with the sound of the wind, and the strange images on the screen only heighten the sense of unease in the air. The sky is clear of clouds, but the intense light from the 2 suns creates a bizarre, uncomfortable space. Alex feels the heat coursing through the armor, sweat trickling down his steadfast brow, but the tension, the preparation for the inevitable battle cannot be avoided. Suddenly, from the northeast, Sergeant Campbell announces, his voice laced with concern. "Movement detected. Northeast quadrant. Single life form, fast approach." Immediately, Alex raises his laser rifle, his eyes locked on the area ahead. In the faint light of the planet, something shifts, appearing and disappearing between the strange purple foliage. A shadow quickly slides past the low trees, and Alex can feel the chilling presence of an enemy. "Hold positions," Alex commands, his voice sharp as a blade in the stillness. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The silence of the forest is abruptly torn by a sharp tearing sound, and then, in the red light of the planet, she appears. A being with golden skin, a slender yet powerful form, and piercing yellow eyes filled with hostility. It is an Aurelian. The alien woman, cloaked in ceremonial armor, her eyes burning with fiery intensity. Her silver hair whips around her face in the dry wind, and the scratches on her metallic armor glitter like the marks of a warrior who has fought through countless battles. Alex stands firm, his rifle never leaving his hands, but his caution cannot mask the surprise. "Stand down," he orders, his gaze fixed on the alien woman's sharp yellow eyes. "We don't want conflict." But she does not back down. Her eyes are full of hatred, and her labored breaths echo like the sound of curses from a distant past. A growl erupts from her throat, like an incantation of death. "Human filth, trespassing on sacred ground," she says, her voice breaking into strange sounds, clicks, and hisses filling the air. The translator struggles to keep up, but soon, it becomes clear enough for Alex to hear each word with piercing clarity. "Death is your only reward." Alex blinks, adjusting his stance, but what he feels now is not just danger, it's an eerie tension rising in the air. It feels as if he is not only facing an alien warrior but also encountering mysteries that cannot be explained. The surroundings suddenly become hazy, as if the air itself is covered by a thick, impenetrable veil. Every breath Alex takes blends into the deep, quiet expanse. The path between the dark purple bushes opens, revealing an unexpected image, like a ghost from ancient mythical tales. She appears. An alien with golden skin that shimmers like metal, reflecting the light of the brilliant suns overhead. Her eyes hold the fire of an entire sea, yellow and blazing like a torch burning in the dark of night. Her gaze is sharp as a blade, unwavering, filled with hostility and brutal intent. Her silver hair swirls lightly in the hot wind, adding to her mysterious presence. She is a warrior. A warrior with a slender yet powerful frame, muscles hidden beneath her ceremonial armor that gleams brightly. The armor seems designed not only to protect but to symbolize the strength and power of a species evolved to be a fearsome hunter. Her hands are strong, with long fingers like sharp claws, ready to tear apart anything that dares to stand in her way. Alex is caught off guard by her sudden appearance. His eyes blink briefly, but before he can even process the danger ahead, the alien woman charges at him like a storm, so fast that even his battle armor's sensors can't keep up. In an instant, she is right in front of him. Her body moves with perfect fluidity, her legs solid as tree roots on the ground, her form agile like a hunting panther. Her eyes glow intensely in that moment, as if she had decided long before getting close that he was her final target. And then, with a powerful leap, she crashes into Alex. The impact feels like a heavy punch to his chest, forcing Alex to stumble back a few steps. His armor screeches, but the force of her body makes Alex feel like he's facing a whirlwind. Before he can recover, she extends her sharp hands, slashing at his armor, searching for any weak points. Her claws leave gleaming scratches on the titanium alloy. Alex struggles to resist, but then a sharp pain tears through his suit. The alien woman, with an unimaginable speed, leaps up and sinks her fangs into his neck. The cold, sharp sensation of the teeth piercing his skin sends a shock through his body, a sudden paralysis that spreads from the bite. His face contorts in pain, but strangely, he doesn't feel any numbness. Blood oozes from the wound, but there are no signs of weakness. There's no feeling like the one he had been warned about, the deadly toxin of the Aurelians. The sensation doesn't match anything he had studied about this species. The alien woman suddenly stops biting and immediately withdraws, her golden eyes wide with surprise. She stares at Alex as though witnessing an unexplainable phenomenon. His blood still drips from the wound, but her expression shifts instantly from cruelty to curiosity and doubt. "You should be dead," she says, her voice broken, lost in the air. The words are incomprehensible, carrying a rare sense of fear in her tone. Why are you still alive?" Alex feels a shiver run down his spine, not from the pain but from the strangeness of the situation. He reaches up, lightly touching the wound, feeling the pain as a reminder of the danger, but nothing more. He doesn't feel any symptoms of poisoning, no dizziness, no paralysis. Well, Alex exhales slowly, trying to keep his tone calm, even though countless questions are rising within him. Sorry to disappoint you. The alien woman takes a step back, her gaze still fixed on Alex, her fingers still poised, confused as to why her deadly bite didn't lead to the expected death. This is something she has never encountered before. A human, a fragile and vulnerable species, could survive a fatal bite from an Aurelian warrior. A strange curiosity sparks in her eyes. You are not like the others, she says, her voice soft, full of skepticism. What are you? Alex, still on high alert, also feels something different in this confrontation. It's not just a battle between two warriors but an exploration of secrets never before unveiled. The air around them begins to thicken, as if the very space is bending to envelop this strange confrontation. Alex stands firm, feeling the weight of his titanium armor still pressing against his body, but now, it no longer feels like an invisible layer of protection. Instead, it feels like a rigid shell, seemingly inadequate to shield him from the captivating curiosity of the alien woman before him. Lethia, the Aurelian warrior, steps back, her glowing yellow eyes still fixed on Alex. Her gaze no longer holds the hostility it once did, instead, it is now a sharp, calculating appraisal. Her hands are near, but no longer wielding the deadly claws they had moments ago during her attack. The change in her demeanor is something Alex can't help but feel. Above them, the light from the two suns of Nexus 9 shines down, casting brilliant beams through the thin clouds. Though the light is bright, it carries a strange sense of mystery, as if it holds whispers that only special beings can hear. Lethia takes a step closer, her yellow eyes never leaving Alex. You shouldn't be alive. Her voice is softer now, almost as if asking a question filled with confusion. Your blood, it's different. Your body should have been paralyzed. Your heart should have stopped. Alex doesn't answer right away. He senses an eerie silence enveloping the space, as if time has come to a standstill. He doesn't feel fear, only the sense that something is forming in her unspoken questions. It's as if he stands before a door that has yet to be opened, revealing mysteries that he cannot yet comprehend. Lethia continues to move around him, this time no longer encircling him as a foe, but observing him carefully, as though she is studying a strange object. Each of her steps is light and graceful, creating soft sounds like the whispers of the wind in the dense purple forest surrounding them. Her eyes fall on the wound on Alex's neck, where blood still seeps out, but strangely, there are no signs of paralysis or biological disruption that other species would experience. What are you? She asks, her yellow eyes now shimmering like flames in the dark, curiosity replacing hatred. Her question is no longer a threat, but a thirst for discovery, as if she is facing something she cannot explain, even to herself. Alex feels a shiver run down his spine, not from fear, but from the oddity of the situation. He is not a strong being, but something inside him prevents him from being affected by Lethia's venom, from weakening despite the bite. This is an event that even Lethia cannot explain. Lethia continues walking around him, her gaze never leaving his every move, and in that observation, a question slowly forms in her mind. Your kind are different. There's something in your blood that resists the venom, something none of us expected. She stops, her eyes flashing, as if she has just realized something important. You humans are more than what we thought. A cold sensation sweeps over Alex like a sudden wave. Lethia is not just a fierce warrior but a being with superior intellect, and now, she is evaluating him not just as a target, but as a phenomenon. His survival after the unexpected bite is not mere luck, it could be the key to something undiscovered. Maybe your species has something we didn't foresee, Lethia says, her yellow eyes glowing like a spark in the darkness. You might hold the answer to something we've been searching for. Alex cannot fully understand what she is thinking, but one thing is certain: this encounter is no longer just a battle between two species. This is an exploration, a deeper process of understanding the differences between them, a confrontation not about violence, but about the mysteries that have yet to be revealed. Lethia's gaze shifts from coldness and hostility to seriousness and interest. She no longer sees Alex as an enemy, but as a potential partner, a part of a cosmic puzzle she cannot solve. The hostility within her gradually gives way to curiosity, and this makes Alex feel as though an entire strange world is unfolding before his eyes. Both of them seem to stand on the threshold of something neither of them could have predicted. The light from the two suns still pours down, but now, in the space between Alex and Lethia, that light seems dimmer, as if it cannot penetrate the tense atmosphere between the two differing beings. Sweat beads down Alex's forehead, but it's not the heat of the planet, it's because of a revelation, a secret buried for too long. He knows that once he speaks, there will be no turning back. Everything will change forever. Lethia stands across from him, her yellow eyes gazing at him with an unmistakable curiosity, as if the unanswered questions are closing in on her, second by second. But in her gaze, there's something different now, a softness that can't be denied. She is no longer an enemy, but a partner, someone searching for the answers to the mysteries unfolding before her eyes. You're not like the others, she says, her voice soft like the wind, yet sharp as a blade. There's something in your blood. What makes you different? Alex hesitates, but then takes a deep breath, feeling the air around him grow heavier. He has prepared for this moment, but it's not easy to face the truth. He looks into Lethia's golden eyes, seeing the seriousness in them, not hostility, but a quest for answers. You're right, Alex begins, his voice low and steady, as if telling a long-kept secret. I'm not like the others. But it's not something you can see. It's something inside me. Lethia takes a step closer, her eyes following his every movement. She says nothing, simply waiting silently, her questions still swirling in her mind. After the war on Europa, Alex continues, his hands clenching, but his voice no longer filled with fear, but with resolve. I was part of a special project. A reconstruction. They modified my genes. Lethia raises an eyebrow, a subtle but powerful gesture full of skepticism. She had never heard of humans changing themselves to this extent, but immediately, curiosity floods her eyes. A reconstruction? What do you mean? They changed me, Alex says, his gaze locked with hers. I was given enhancements, genetic modifications designed to increase my resilience. To make me stronger, faster. They didn't tell me everything about it, but they wanted to see if I could survive longer, adapt faster, to the environments beyond Earth. And I did. But I never knew it would have consequences like this. The space around them seems to pause for a moment, and Lethia, in a stunned silence, doesn't take her eyes off Alex. This is a truth she never imagined would come from a human being. A biological enhancement not only making him stronger, but also helping him survive a deadly force that even Aurelian warriors couldn't overcome. You mean to say, you were engineered to be more than human? Lethia asks, her voice heavy with astonishment, and it makes Alex realize that she's trying to absorb every bit of this information, as though this is a monumental discovery she has never encountered before. Yes, Alex admits, his voice growing firmer. And it seems it worked. But not in the way they intended. Instead of making me a better soldier, I've become something different. Something they didn't plan for. And now, it's keeping me alive. Even here, in this place, I should have been dead. But I'm not. Lethia remains silent for a moment, her golden eyes now sparkling with something unfamiliar, as if everything is slowly beginning to make sense. She turns away, her strong hands tightening as if trying to grasp this entire concept. This could change everything, Lethia whispers, as if speaking to herself. She doesn't look back at Alex immediately, but her words seem to touch something distant. If your kind is different, if your blood resists what would have killed any other, maybe, just maybe, we can work together. Alex feels the shift in the air around them. From a tense confrontation, it seems a new door is beginning to open. Lethia, the fierce warrior, no longer sees him as an enemy, but as a potential partner. No longer hostility, but an opportunity to find another way, a way not of fighting, but of peace. Maybe, Alex says, his eyes scanning Lethia once more, but this time, there's no longer skepticism, but agreement. Maybe there's a way. Maybe we can find a way to stop this madness, to find a chance for both our species to survive. But we'll need each other. Lethia turns back, her golden eyes now full of determination. Yes, she replies, her voice low but powerful, we will need each other. And I think we can make this work. Both of them stand there, amidst the vastness of Nexus 9, as if they've just crossed a threshold never before seen. Alex's survival is not just luck, but a chance for something greater, something beyond what they could have imagined. A connection between two worlds, between two completely different beings, is beginning to form. As Alex and Lethia embarked on their 3-day journey to the citadel of the Aurelians, the air around them felt unusually quiet and full of suspicion. They walked through a vast area covered in dark purple bushes, the large branches like claws, piercing through the air in an eerie silence. The ground was cracked and dry, resembling a barren painting with no signs of life except for the strange plants that rose from the soil like alien creatures. Alex trudged forward in his heavy battle armor, each step forcing his body to fight against the weight of the titanium metal. Although the cooling systems in his armor were working at full capacity, the temperature of Nexus 9 still made him feel as though he were walking through a fire. Each breath was labored, pulling in the heavy air of the planet with its salty and arid atmosphere, amplified by the presence of two suns. Lethia, in contrast, moved as lightly as a shadow. Her ceremonial armor did not hinder her agility. Her silver hair fluttered in the dry wind of the planet, and her yellow eyes scanned every corner, always alert, always observing. She moved through the purple bushes with ease, her slender yet powerful body resembling a predator hunting in its own territory. Each step of Alex seemed heavier, each time he had to lean over large boulders or jump across deep fissures. This alien world felt like an unsolved riddle, making him feel small and lost amidst its strange nature. The light from the two suns bathed the planet, casting strange shadows on the ground, creating abstract shapes that constantly shifted, blurring the line between reality and imagination. Lethia glanced at him, her golden eyes bright under the sunlight, as if she were searching for signs of weakness in every movement he made. A part of her still couldn't understand why Alex, a human, could survive in such an environment without breaking down. Despite the help of the armor, he was still a creature from a world that had never experienced such harshness. But this only made her more curious. "You're not like any human I've met before," Lethia said, her voice soft but full of assessment. She didn't stop walking but continued, her eyes never leaving Alex. Most of your kind would be struggling by now. Alex looked ahead at the path, feeling the harshness of the planet, but also realizing that Lethia was paying attention to him. Not with the hostility she once had, but with something else. A strange kind of interest, a curiosity. He didn't respond immediately, but her words made him feel the connection between them shifting. "I've been through a lot," Alex replied, his voice lowering as though speaking about old wounds that had not yet healed. "But I'll keep up." He took a deep breath, trying to resist letting his tired body defeat his will. Slowly, the landscape began to change. The black soil field gradually gave way to a region filled with bizarre plants, large herbaceous stalks rising from the ground like columns. Delicate white flowers bloomed, their beauty otherworldly, like stars glowing in a dark sky. But beside this beauty, there was something ominous. The flowers emitted a strange, heavy sweetness, causing the air around them to feel even thicker. Alex felt as if something heavy was pressing down on the space. He turned, but didn't see Lethia. She had moved ahead, without saying a word. But then he saw her standing still, one hand resting on a rock, her bright eyes staring into the distant sky. He sensed a change in the air. While everything still held its coldness, there was a strange shift in Lethia's attitude. She turned back, looking at him with a new expression, her gaze no longer cold but filled with conflict. "The ascension, it is beginning," she said, her voice low and heavier than before. Alex didn't fully understand the meaning of the word, but he felt the change in Lethia's body. She was no longer moving with the same agility, she was slowing down, retreating, as if fighting something invisible that was taking hold of her. The tension began to press on the space, not just between them, but all around them. Lethia slowly walked closer, her yellow eyes still fixed on Alex. She continued, her voice faltering, as if each word was heavy with a different feeling. "It is the cycle we go through, when we become more than what we are." Alex looked at her, unable to ignore the difference. Everything around them seemed to be changing, but not because of the planet, because of Lethia herself. The change within her wasn't an external transformation but an internal struggle, a battle with herself. "You're not alone," Alex said, for the first time during their journey, feeling a true connection with Lethia. "We can make it. Together." Lethia stopped, her eyes lighting up for a moment. It seemed as though Alex's words had sparked a change within her, like a door in her mind had been opened. And in that moment, amidst the gloomy atmosphere of Nexus 9, they were no longer two strangers from two different worlds. They were two beings who could find a common path. The dim light of the two suns filtered down in thin, yellow streaks, passing through the dense branches, casting strange beams on the ground, blending with the heavy atmosphere of planet Nexus 9. Alex stood still, his body still feeling the slight numbness from the harsh journey, but deep down, he knew that something greater was waiting for him. Lethia approached, each step light yet powerful, like a panther stalking its prey. Her yellow eyes gleamed in the shadows, carrying not just curiosity, but an indescribable sense of unrest. Her ceremonial armor no longer seemed like a hard protective layer, but a part of her, inseparable. She stopped in front of Alex, her gaze no longer cold but filled with an unusual sincerity, as if she was about to share a secret that neither of them could fully comprehend. "I've never explained this to anyone before," Lethia began, her voice warm but low, as if these words held a truth too difficult to reveal to anyone else. "But you deserve to understand what I am. What we are." Alex, though having faced many trials, still felt a weight in his chest. He stood there, looking at Lethia, her eyes seemingly piercing through the outer shell he tried to build. The unease rose within him, but then he nodded, ready to face the things he could not predict. Lethia continued, her yellow eyes never leaving Alex. We, the Aurelians, go through a cycle called ascension. It's a phase in our lives when we are more than we are. Her voice echoed in the stillness, and everything around them seemed to pause, as if the space itself shifted, leaving only her words. During ascension, Lethia said, her hand gently brushing the ground as though she could feel the energy spreading in the air. We experience a surge of biological and emotional power. Our instincts are heightened, and our bodies are different. The attraction between mates becomes irresistible. It is not just about desire, it is biological, a force we cannot fight. Lethia paused, letting her words sink in, and in that moment, the air around them seemed to grow heavier. She took a step closer, and Alex could feel the change in her body, not just the movement, but an unseen shift, one that could not be perceived with the naked eye. Each step she took made the space feel denser, as though she were pulling some invisible power with her that Alex couldn't quite grasp. When ascension takes over, Lethia continued, her gaze softening as though she were looking at something far away, something only she could see. We feel drawn to those who possess strength. Something primal. Something we can connect to. Alex stood still, Lethia's words evoking an unfamiliar world he had never dared to think about. A strength that wasn't just spoken, but a strange sensation rising through his body, spreading through every cell, like an invisible energy connecting him and Lethia. And you. Lethia stopped, her eyes locking with Alex's, as if trying to confirm something. You're different. You survived my bite. No other has done so. But it's not just that. There's something more. She tilted her head, her gaze full of curiosity. It's like, your blood calls to mine. And mine to yours. A strange feeling overwhelmed Alex. He sensed the truth in Lethia's words, though he couldn't explain it. He felt something that wasn't just biological, but a deeper connection between them, something that even Lethia couldn't fully understand. It was like an invisible pull that neither of them could resist, even if they didn't want to. This connection, Alex said, his voice faltering slightly, as though he were trying to process and understand everything happening in his body. It feels like, we're not just two different species anymore. Lethia stepped closer, her breath filling the space around them, carrying the strange scent of the planet. No, Alex, she replied, her voice catching slightly, we're not. The entire space seemed to pause, everything around them fading, leaving only their presence, the strange connection between a human and an alien. In that moment, Alex felt more clearly than ever before that what was happening between them was not just the union of two beings from two different worlds. It was something greater, a secret that only time could reveal. The citadel of the Aurelians looms before them like a massive fortress standing against a somber sky, its tall spires rising into the air, broken by the radiant light of the two suns. The structure is unlike anything Alex has seen on Earth, walls adorned with strange patterns, lines that seem to tell an ancient story about creatures that have existed for eons. The citadel, both grand and imposing, exudes a quiet beauty, as if every stone within it holds secrets that can never be revealed. Alex feels the weight of the atmosphere as he and Lethia approach the heart of the citadel. Beneath their feet, the ground is paved with precious stones, the light reflecting off the surface causing the entire area to glow like a sacred place. Long shadows stretch from the high platforms, adding to the mysterious ambience of the location. The scene before them is a vast hall where beings from across the stars have gathered. Representatives of the Aurelians stand around a large circular table, their sharp eyes filled with suspicion, their yellow eyes fixed intensely on Alex, a human, standing amongst alien warriors. His presence is nothing short of an upheaval, a ripple of disturbance unlike anything they've ever witnessed. The paintings and symbols on the walls of the citadel reflect the grandeur and power of the Aurelian race. Each image tells a story, a piece of their history, their victories, their battles never forgotten. In the dim light, these images seem to come alive, filling the space with reverence and awe. He survived. A voice breaks the silence, heavy with disbelief. It is that of a member of the Aurelian Council, a tall man with skin shining like gold, his eyes locked firmly on Alex, showing both amazement and doubt. "Yes," Lethia responds, her voice firm yet tinged with uncertainty. "His survival is unprecedented." Alex feels the sharp eyes of the council members, questioning him incessantly. The unspoken questions seem to radiate from the space surrounding him, making him feel as though he were an animal in a glass cage. Another member of the council, a woman with silver-tinted skin, tilts her head, her yellow eyes never leaving Alex. "But how?" she asks, her voice soft but sharp. "How can a human survive the venom of an Aurelian? No human has ever resisted such a thing." Alex stands firm, sensing the tension in the air. He knows this is no longer just a personal test, it's the survival of an entire civilization at stake. He cannot allow himself to falter, cannot afford to become a part of their doubt or failure. "I don't know how," Alex responds, his voice low and honest. "But I'm here, and I survived. There's something about me, something that's different. Something that your kind didn't anticipate." Lethia stands beside Alex, her gaze sharp and resolute, a silent challenge to the council. "Perhaps it's time to reconsider how you view humans." A heavy silence fills the space, and all the representatives fall quiet, reflecting on Lethia's words. Each of them has their own reasoning, but Alex's appearance, his survival after being bitten by an Aurelian, has sparked questions even they cannot answer. "We cannot ignore this," another voice rings out, belonging to a man with a long scar running across his face, his yellow eyes filled with gravity. "This human is an anomaly. His survival, his immunity, it's a weapon we cannot overlook." A tense debate begins among the council members. Reason and instinct clash, contrasting opinions weaving together. Some begin to worry about the danger of having such a weapon in the hands of humanity, while others realize that this opportunity might be the key to altering the course of relations between their species. Perhaps, the man with the scar suggests, the human is the key to breaking the cycle. If he is immune, if his blood can resist our toxins, perhaps this is the moment for diplomacy. Alex stands there, listening to the arguments, but in his heart, he feels a strange sensation. He has faced many enemies, but now, these questions are no longer just about him. They concern the fate of both worlds. He may be the one to change everything, or the one who leads them all to the brink of destruction. A figure rises from the table, their gaze full of determination. "If we are to consider this, humans' immunity, we will need to test it. We cannot afford mistakes." She speaks without hesitation. Lethia steps forward, standing tall and facing the speaker, her eyes unwavering. "We will offer him the chance to prove his worth. He is not just a test subject. He is a messenger." Finally, the council falls silent, each member realizing that they stand at an important crossroads. This decision not only affects the relationship between their two species but could also alter the future of the entire universe. The questions remain unanswered, but one thing is clear: Alex will be an integral part of this story, and the road ahead will not be easy. The atmosphere in the Citadel's council room becomes thick, as if time and space themselves are closing in to seal off any possible escape. The light from the high platforms falls down, reflecting off the walls adorned with Aurelian historical symbols, casting long shadows that stretch across the floor like invisible arms tightening around each breath. Alex stands in the center of the room, facing the Aurelian Council and the UEDF representatives, the tension mounting in the air, ready to erupt in a way never seen before. Lethia stands beside him, her gaze cold but filled with determination. She has been a warrior, a fighter in countless battles, but now, she is not just defending herself, she is protecting an opportunity that both their species can share, an opportunity for fragile peace, yet one filled with strange power. The UEDF representatives, including stern-looking commanders, murmur among themselves, their eyes fixed firmly on Alex. One of them, a man in dark military uniform, speaks up, his voice cutting through the tension like a sharp blade. This human is a liability. His existence violates everything we know about Aurelian biology. He shouldn't even be alive, let alone stand here in front of us. He says, pointing at Alex, his eyes full of suspicion and hatred. His words hit the air like a powerful strike, intensifying the already charged atmosphere. The members of the Aurelian Council listen, some of them nodding in agreement, their yellow eyes sparkling like gems, whispering amongst themselves about the dangers of having an outsider exist in the heart of the citadel. Lethia does not move, but her eyes sweep across the room, a noticeable tension in her gaze. Everything around them seems to slow down, the arguments rising and consuming the space, until it feels as if no one can hear their own voices anymore. Alex feels the tension building in every cell of his body, his gaze moving from the stern faces of the UEDF commanders to the cold, calculating expressions of the Aurelian Council members. All eyes are on him, but he knows he cannot back down. He understands that he is no longer just an outsider among alien creatures, he is an opportunity, an experiment, a possibility neither species had ever thought possible. "You think I'm a liability," Alex begins, his voice not loud, but firm with resolve. "But I'm the only one standing here, alive. And maybe that's the message you need to hear." He looks directly at the man from the UEDF, then turns toward the Aurelian Council. "I don't know why I'm immune to your venom. I don't understand it. But I'm here, and that means there's a chance for both of us to change the way we see each other." A silence falls over the room. It's not the silence of agreement, but the silence of anticipation, of tension lingering between the unextinguishable flames. This human's survival, another Aurelian Council member, a woman with silver-tinted skin, speaks up. It has never happened before. His blood resists our toxins. Perhaps, we should not see this as a threat, but as a sign. She looks at Alex, her yellow eyes glowing strangely. A sign that maybe we need to reconsider everything. The light in the room shifts slightly, the beams from the high platforms casting strange shadows on the ground, as though the very space itself is trying to divide the two worlds facing each other. Each member of the council has their own reasoning. One side is concerned about the potential danger of humanity, while the other begins to see the opportunity that Alex's existence presents. A UEDF representative, a tall woman with silver hair, steps forward, her eyes staring intensely at Lethia before shifting to Alex. "What are you suggesting, Captain? That we simply ignore the dangers that come with him? He could be a threat, a weapon." Alex does not step back, standing tall, feeling that this moment is the greatest test of his life. "I'm not a weapon. But if you keep seeing me as one, you'll never see what I'm really offering. I'm offering the chance for both sides to look beyond fear, beyond the toxins, and see the possibility of peace." Lethia stands beside Alex, her gaze unwavering as she looks at the UEDF representatives and the Aurelian Council. She does not speak, but every movement she makes, every sharp look she gives, says that she is protecting something far greater, not just an individual, but a complete shift in how the two species view each other. A voice from the back of the room speaks with a deep tone. There is no easy answer, the man with the scar on his face says, his voice deep but resolute. But perhaps, we begin with the test. Let him prove his immunity under controlled conditions. Only then can we truly know if he is a threat or a chance for us all. Both sides fall silent for a moment, and then, a strange consensus begins to form. It's not full agreement, but a first step on the challenging path toward peace. Alex knows the road ahead will not be easy. Everything is still being tested, and the tension between the factions has not dissipated, but there's something that's shifted in the air, a tiny chance, but one full of hope. The room within the Citadel remains immersed in a tense atmosphere, as arguments continue to echo between the UEDF representatives and the Aurelian Council. Every eye is fixed on Alex and Lethia as they stand together, facing the leaders of both species. In this mysterious space, the faint light from the high platforms casts cold streaks across the stone floor of the Citadel, as if it were witnessing the shift of destinies. Alex stands firm, his fists clenched, though his gaze, despite its resolve, betrays a hint of worry about what will happen next. Lethia stands beside him, her unwavering gaze being the last strength keeping Alex steady. Amidst the fierce debate between the two sides, they know that the strange bond between them is their only hope, a bridge yet to be built, but potentially a path to peace. We can't afford to let fear guide us any longer, Alex begins, his voice strong but filled with sincerity, as if each word is a step into an unpredictable future. We've been at war for too long. Our species, both of us, have lost so much. I'm not here as a weapon, I'm here to show you that there's another way. Lethia stands next to Alex, her yellow eyes glowing, the light from the high platforms reflecting off her face, making her appearance even more mysterious, as if she herself were a part of this planet. She doesn't speak, but her presence says everything, offering strong support to Alex's words. She knows that this is an opportunity that cannot be missed, an opportunity to change the course of history between the two species. We propose a test, Lethia continues, her voice resonating in the heavy silence, a test that will prove if his immunity is real, under the supervision of both our species. We will do this in a controlled environment, with both sides watching. This is not just about trust. This is about understanding. Lethia's words carry weight, challenging both the UEDF and the Aurelians. This is not a simple test, it's a trial of everything both species have believed in, about the nature of their existence and their ability to interact. A member of the Aurelian Council, the man with silver-tinted skin, glances at the others before speaking, his voice deep and filled with concern. This is dangerous, he says, his yellow eyes glaring at Alex, as if looking for a reason to reject it. If this human survives, it will change everything. Can we truly allow this? If he is immune, it will shift the balance of power between us and the humans. The tension in the room rises, as if the air itself is being sucked away, leaving only questions without answers. Some in the UEDF are also concerned about what Alex might represent in this shift. A man from the UEDF, his face grim, rises and speaks with firm determination. We cannot let this be a sign of weakness. We are not here to simply test the unknown. There are too many risks. If this human becomes an ally, it could alter the entire balance of the galaxy. He turns to Alex, his gaze sharp. What guarantee do we have that this is not some trap? Alex feels the pressure building in the room, but he does not step back. All eyes are on him, and the survival of not only himself but also the relationship between the two species hangs in the balance. He takes a deep breath and faces them all. "There is no guarantee," Alex says, his voice deep and confident. "But there is a choice. We can choose to keep fighting, or we can choose to take a risk for something better. For both our species." A silence fills the room. Alex's words are not a rigid assertion but an invitation, a proposal for a path not yet paved. He knows that this relationship will not be easy. The differences between humans and Aurelians are vast, and the road to peace will be filled with challenges. But in this moment, he feels something strange in the air, a faint, but powerful light of hope, like a glimmer in the darkness. Finally, a voice rings out from the back of the room, the voice of the woman with silver-tinted skin, a member of the Aurelian Council. "Perhaps this test is the only way forward," she says, her eyes deeply focused on Alex, full of calculation. "We have fought long enough. If he is immune, then perhaps it is time to reassess everything. We cannot remain in the shadows of fear." A slow consensus begins to form in the room, not total agreement, but a first step onto a path neither species has ever considered. The UEDF representatives and the Aurelian Council members look at each other, their gazes conflicted yet resolute. After moments of intense tension, they agree to proceed with the test. Alex and Lethia look at each other, an unspoken understanding rising between them. They know that although many challenges lie ahead, this is a first step, an opportunity for both species to move toward peace, where the connection between them could open the door to a new era, an era where the relationship between humans and Aurelians is not based on conflict but on understanding and cooperation. And no matter how difficult the road ahead, Alex and Lethia know they are ready to continue walking it. The final shot slowly pans toward Alex and Lethia as they stand on the summit of a tall hill, gazing out over the vast expanse, where the sky of Nexus 9 shifts from a brilliant orange to a deep crimson, the light from the two suns gradually fading behind the towering mountains. The horizon paints an abstract picture, blending the last rays of the day with the darkness of distant stars. The ground beneath them, though dry and cracked, still radiates a strange beauty. Dark clouds gather, but not to cover the sky, rather they seem to act as a soft curtain, creating an open space for new possibilities. The dry winds sweep through, carrying with them the murmurs from the strange plants, sounds only creatures native to this place could understand. Alex stands still, not from fatigue, but because of a strange sensation spreading within him. Despite facing countless battles and confrontations, he feels as if he's at a crossroads, where everything could change forever. His eyes follow Lethia, and in that moment, the world around them seems to fade, leaving only the two of them. Lethia stands beside him, her presence not just as protection but as an inseparable part of this journey. The light from the two suns reflects off her silver hair, casting gentle rays on her shoulders like a faint, ethereal halo. "We have only just begun," Lethia says, her voice not loud, but full of strength. She doesn't look at Alex immediately, instead, her gaze is fixed on the horizon, as if she is seeing a future even she cannot predict. What lies ahead, we cannot predict. But it's a path we must walk together. Alex feels the rise and fall in her words, a feeling that's not just about the exhaustion but also a recognition of things not yet seen, things not yet known. He looks at Lethia, this strange companion, a warrior from a distant world. He can sense the strange connection between them, a bond that cannot be torn apart. "I know," Alex replies, his voice soft yet sure. He looks toward the distant peaks, where the final light of the day is slowly fading. "But whatever comes, I'm ready. For both of us." The sunlight fades, giving way to the encroaching darkness, and the stars begin to twinkle, each a distant point of light in the vast sky. The air grows colder, but in that cold, there is an inexplicable warmth. They stand there, hands not holding, but their closeness feels more solid than ever. Each step they take will not just be a solitary one, but a collaboration, an unprecedented bond between two different species. The horizon before them opens like an invitation. The relationship between humans and Aurelians, though still full of the unknown, can now be seen as the beginning of a new era. They both know this journey will not be easy. There will be challenges, unforeseen storms, but one undeniable truth remains: they will not face it alone. Because they have each other. The vast universe before them seems like unfinished puzzle pieces, but each step, each decision, will be new streaks of light painting the story they will write together. Their gaze is no longer one of opposition but the beginning of a new relationship, full of hope, discovery, and questions that only the future can answer. And in that moment, as the darkness slowly covers them, a magical feeling spreads through the space. The connection between two worlds is no longer a test, but a path they will walk together, never looking back. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the unknown. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an adventure. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories and experiences. Remember, the truth is out there, and it's waiting to be discovered, together. See you in the next one.